Hi, and welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Brent Dodge, and this week we're going to be talking about a revolutionary new device that Alpine is actually involved in some of the testing with called the CoreAlign. And I have with me to talk about this new piece of equipment, Sam Schoeneman, who is a physical therapist at Alpine and also a Pilates certified instructor, well-versed in the Pilates method. And I think that's where this connection between Pilates and CoreAlign has occurred. Sam, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Sam, you kind of stumbled across some new technology and have pursued some interest in it and some coursework in it. Can you tell us a little bit about how you discovered CoreAlign?
Yeah, I was about probably 8-9 months ago, I was at a national Pilates conference. And for 2 days I walked by this new piece of machine, kind of rolled my eyes and said, oh, another new gadget out there. And later on, of all places, I was at the pool talking to a gentleman, and we got to talking about Pilates and physical therapy. It turns out he's a physical therapist from Israel. His name's Jonathan Hoffman, and he's a manual trained, mostly Maitland trained physical therapist. And over the last 15 years, he's been creating this type of exercise equipment that helps engage core muscles in a very functional stance. And also you can do it, a lot of activities on it, on kneeling and such. At any rate, that piqued my interest to obviously go back and try this new exercise equipment. So during that conference, I went back, and as soon as I got on the piece of equipment, which was a prototype, I fell in love with it. I was immediately in tap with the core, and I felt activation of the right muscles and the synergy patterns that I look for in a PT client to get to, and I was sold on it.
So a lot of Pilates work that we do in the clinic, we're a lot of times working on this, the lower core area of the abdomen and spine. And a lot of times we're either lying down, maybe we're in a hands-knees position on some specialized equipment like a reformer. How is this different than a reformer?
This actually allows you to do a majority of the exercises actually in standing. And what also makes it unique is that the feet are separate. So they are both moving in separate tracks, and there's instability on both feet. You can control the instability by changing the tension of the bands, and you can make the instability come from one direction or the other, or the same direction. It's very versatile and very simple, very friendly to use, and I think immediately when people get onto the machine, they feel that because of the balance response that we get when we lose our balance, in standing, it taps into some really nice core muscles and kind of helps facilitate that natural synergy of those core muscles.
Excellent. Well, CoreAlign right now is sort of in the testing and prototype mode. I'm wondering what your role has been in terms of this testing and some of the coursework that you've taken.
Yeah. Well, of course, after I got on the machine, I immediately walked over and said, I want to buy one. And at the time, I just was thinking for my house, I wanted to try it just to get on and feel it and have it for my own fitness and my own health management. And so I signed up to purchase one, and then later they contacted me and said, we're going to be doing this training. We'd like to get some feedback, and we're not quite done yet to release this to the public. Balanced Body is a company that they want excellence in their equipment, and you can see that by a lot of their equipment that we have here at Alpine. And this is no different. So they offered to have me go through the training for a week. I was with about 15 other professionals, some physical therapists, some fitness professionals, and some Pilates instructors. At the end of that week, we were able to take a prototype back to our clinics, and we have the next basically 6 months to take this machine and try it with different clients, get it using in the clinic, using it with either athletes that aren't injured and athletes that are injured, and really get some good feedback for a balanced body. So it is still in the prototype, and we are fortunate enough here at Alpine to be able to be a part of the product research and development for this, I think, revolutionary equipment for physical therapy and also for the fitness industry.
So eventually this will be something that's more of a standard in even fitness arenas, physical therapy clinics. We're kind of on the front edge of something.
Absolutely, and from the people that I talked with that have experienced the CoreAlign, high industry fitness people, they feel that this is going to be what the elliptical was back in the 90s. It's
Wow.
going to storm
That's
the
amazing.
fitness industry, and I think that physical therapy is going to take it too and use it as they have with Pilates.
It's phenomenal to think that Alpine is on the front edge of something so big that's, you mentioned the elliptical. I mean, everybody knows what an elliptical is, and to think that the CoreAlign will be something along that magnitude is phenomenal. And the fact that we're just at the front end of it, you've gotten some of the coursework. And yet to keep in mind that we are in that testing mode, this is really just an introduction to the equipment and to all the work that Sam will be doing with the CoreAlign. So we want you to stay tuned, those of our listeners and those watching our video podcast, that we'll be back with some additional podcasts and informative information on the CoreAlign. Keep your eyes posted at our website, and be sure to call our clinics if you have any questions.